Happy Friday too. I hope you're having a wonderful afternoon, you guys. I've got a fun show for you. I know the weekend is within sight. It is just right over the horizon, but before we get there, let's make some jewelry together. And let's not just make jewelry together, guys. Let's make some jewelry using the Bead LLama do-it-yourself jewelry making kit, because it's one of my absolute favorite things that we've got going on over on Art Beads, and I cannot wait to share another fun project using all of the goodies from that with you. That's the plan for today. But before we do that, let's get into all of the other housekeeping. Just some gentle reminders to all of you for how things work while you're hanging out here with us on artbeads.com. So guys, you're going to notice there is a shopping bag on the side of your screen at any point during today's show. You can click on that shopping bag and it's going to bring up all of the items that I have in today's show. There's only a couple of items in today's show, but they are really good ones. So if you want to see all of the details about those, you can click on that. You can also add those items to your cart, as well as check out all while still watching this show. It just makes me a little bit smaller. When you are done, if you'll click on me, I'll get big again. You don't have to miss anything. However, if you do have to leave us for some reason, that's okay. You can always come back and watch this as a video on demand, and that is really helpful when your items show up that you've ordered and you need to be re-inspired. So definitely take advantage of the replays. You can fast forward through all of the chat in the beginning and get right to the techniques and the things that you want to see. Don't mind that little dog that you see in the back corner back there. You guys see that? She's getting into something she should not be getting into. I can guarantee you that's what's happening right now. So it's always fun when you're hanging out with Sarah's on a Friday, right? You just never know. If you're hanging out at Sarah's place, there's no telling what's going to happen. So let's see, what else do I need to let you guys know about? If you happen to be joining us from somewhere other than artbeads.com, first and foremost, we'd like to invite you to come on over to artbeads.com while you're watching the live. There's exclusive content that happens, exclusive little details and things that happen sometimes just for those of you who are joining us at artbeads.com. So if you're joining us from Facebook or YouTube, come on over. We can't see you in the chat, and we would absolutely love for you to be a part of the conversation. So that's probably the number one reason why you definitely want to come on over. However, if you want to continue to join us from Facebook, we make it easy for you to shop as well. You're going to see there's a banner in the top of the screen, and you can type in the item codes for the items, and it's going to give you a link directly to those. So we do make it easy for you if you want to shop while hanging out on Facebook, but we would love for you to come and hang out in the conversation, the chat, in the party, if you will, over on artbeads.com. Lisa says, my favorite Friday pair, Sarah and a snoring dog. Well, there's a couple of them snoring, and then there's one that just, she's getting into the, do you see that? She's opening the closet door back there. Yeah, she's getting in the closet. I have no control. I have no control. Never know what's going to happen. So, yeah, we're just going to hope for the best. All right. Anything else that I need to tell you guys? Let me think, because this just totally thrown me off of my train of thought. Yeah, actually, there's a lot of good things to tell you guys about, right? It is a wonderful time to be hanging out with all of us Art Bead friends, because we've got something going on that you guys should already be checking out. But in case you haven't been checking it out, you need to be checking for this every single day, and that is the deal of the day. Guys, the deal of the day today, I'm going to talk about it here in just a second, but if you're not familiar with that, that's going on right now. Currently, it's actually coinciding with a really awesome sale that's happening right now as well. But the deal of the day is for you a little something extra. And today's deal of the day is a strand of really beautiful beads, and you can see those are already up here in the corner of your screen. But I want to tell you guys, you need to be checking out the deal of the day now through the end of the year, because every single day there's going to be something different. You're going to come to the website, you're going to scroll just a little bit. It should be right there where you're going to see what that deal of the day is. And today's deal of the day is a beautiful strand of 8x4 millimeter check glass flowers. These are black diamond with an AB finish. They're absolutely beautiful. They retail originally at $2.20, I believe, but they are the deal of the day for 99 cents today. So you definitely want to add those to your cart. Now, if you spend $24 or more today, and let me give you a little bit more incentive here. If you spend $24 or more on the check glass sale that's going on, bet you didn't know that was happening, did you? Actually, I bet you probably did, because you guys are really good about checking the website. But all check glass beads right now are up to 40% off, including the designer blends. So if you are shopping around on that deal, getting those 40% off, and you add your deal of the day, and you spend at least $24, guess what? Your order ships free. So lots of good things going on. And like I said, you want to check back every single day on the website to see what the deal of the day is, because it's always something different. So that's going on from now until the new year brings its way in. So all right, now let's see. What else do I have for you guys? Well, I've got something else, but I'm going to wait to tell you about that until we get turned around and get into what we're doing today. So as I mentioned, we are going to be working with the Bead LLama Do-It-Yourself Jewelry Making Kit. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there that have already received and have been using and creating with your Bead LLama kits, but there are a lot of you who are still not quite sure if it is the kit for you or not. And hopefully today I'm going to inspire you and maybe inspire you to think about gift giving too, because guys, believe it or not, December is a week away, isn't it? Well, I mean, after next week. Listen, I'm not a calendar. I'm gonna turn you around. In my mind, it's a week away. It's after Thanksgiving is over. December is here. It's time to be thinking about gift giving. And you guys, the Bead LLama, that's where it's at, your jewelry making kit. Now, if you are unfamiliar with the Bead LLama, first of all, you need to be educated. Let's talk about our little Bead LLama baby that we've got going on here. So this is just a tiny bit of what you can get in your Bead LLama kit, guys. But the Bead LLama kit is absolutely everything that you need to get started as a jewelry maker, and it is way more than what you see right here in front of you. I cannot get everything in the shot right this second, but it is not only everything you need down to the tools, right? But it is content, it is inspiration, it is community. There is so much more than just the beady goodness that is included in your Bead LLama kit. It is really and truly the beginning of a beady journey. And I would love to encourage you, if you are a maker that maybe jewelry making is on your mind, but you haven't really made the decision yet, but you've been watching videos and watching jewelry makers make things, this is going to be the best place to start. It takes all of the guesswork out of trying to decide what tools to get, what beads to get, what findings to get, what kind of stringing materials do I need to get. The Bead LLama kit has all of the things in it for you, so you don't have to do anything except open the box and create. There are tons of beads to work with. We're actually going to be using some beads out of the kit today to create a beautiful little bracelet. I'm going to use some of these beautiful gold size 8 Toho beads, but I want you to see there's some more in here. But it's really an experience. I think a lot of times these days, people, when they're shopping for loved ones for the holidays, are looking for gifting and experience. I think this definitely qualifies. So if there's a maker in your life who, or maybe a potential maker, maybe they don't know that they're a maker yet, right? Maybe there's somebody in your life that is ready to take the journey into jewelry making. This is a wonderful gift to give somebody, because it is more than just the beads. As I mentioned, it is the experience. You're giving community to them. You're giving tons of inspiration. There's written content. There is video content. There is so much to be had with these Bead LLama kits. So it's really exciting. Now, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, because we've already unboxed these and gone through them, and there's already plenty of content for you guys to see as far as that is concerned. So I really want to inspire you to make something with some of the things that are in your Bead LLama kit, just to give you some examples of what is possible. So In your kit, you're going to find that there are these little mixes. These little mixes are awesome, by the way. It's beautiful, top quality check glass beads. All of this is hand selected by the design team from Art Beads. And we really went, I feel like we put together things that we love to share with you. We weren't just like, you know, let's just throw some beads in here, just whatever. No, like we really went through picking out the colors of the seed beads. We went through all of these little bead mixes and making sure that they had all of the shapes and the colors and the sizes and as much variety as we could give you, things that we actually use in our own designs, so that when you are getting started, you know that you are starting out on the right foot. So, all right, let's get into making something, shall we? I've pulled out 2 of the little mixes and some Toho beads here. I'm also going to be using some of the bead stringing wire, and I'm going to be using some of the findings. So I'll pull through here. Those of you who've never seen these before, just want you to see everything is packaged either in our little containers that you can use in these little bags that are also down inside these organza bags. So everything is already ready for gifting, right? All you got to do is just wrap it. Even the box, it's easy to wrap. It's nice and rectangle. You don't have to fuss with it. All right, I'm going to show you a cool bracelet project that does not need anything other than some crimps. We're not going to be using a clasp. We're going to make our own. I'm going to show you how. All right. Exactly. Michelle says, for those that wrap a present, the Bead Llama one is quick and easy. Absolutely. Oh, Diane says she still uses hers out of the box because it's her baby. Me too. All of this goes right back into my box because it's my baby and I want it all to be in the same place. I don't want to mix it in with my other things. Like my Bead Llama stuff, it's a little different. I treat it a little bit differently than everything else for sure. All right, so one of the things about this that I want to encourage you to do, because there are a few of these mixes and there are strands. I feel like I'm not showing you enough of everything here, but there's strands, there's mixes, there's charms, all of the things, right? I want to encourage you to mix things. Is that crazy? I know some of you are not mixers, but what I mean is just because you've got a mix here that has these beautiful browns and, you know, neutral colors in it, doesn't mean that you can't pull from one of the other ones that's got some black and some purple and some white in it and mix them together. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There are no rules when it comes to creating. So I was going to pull some beads from both of these little mixes. So I want some of these guys. These are some of my favorites. And if you guys will remember the last project that I did with the Bead Llama kit, I used this mix. It is my favorite mix, I think, out of all of them. So, of course, I'm going to use it again. But I'm going to pull some of the larger beads from this. Now, you can pull whatever beads you want to, because this bracelet, you're going to be able to do this with anything. But I'm going to pull these guys. I'm going to use my Tohos. And then I'm going to actually pull something from the other mix too to go with this, which might seem a little out of the ordinary. But again, I want to encourage you to mix all these things together. All right. So, excuse me. Ellen has a question. Ellen says, is Toho a brand or a style? It is a brand. It is a really, really top quality seed bead brand. We love Toho. We absolutely love Toho. Toho beads come in a lot of different styles, but the ones that we've included in our Bead Llama kit are the round ones, and the quality is absolutely top notch. They're nice and round, they're consistent in their size. They're just really, really nice beads. So 100% is a brand. All right. Now, I know you're probably wondering what on earth can she pull from this to mix with these colors? But there's actually something in particular that I want out of this. I want one of these little flat, whoops, well, I want one of these. Oh my goodness. I want one of these little flowers, you guys. You see that little frosty check glass flower? I want that. And I want one of these. It's kind of like a coin-shaped bead. It's a rondelle. It's just kind of wide and flat. It resembles a button to me. And so that's kind of what that's how I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna show you. So I'm always looking for ways where I can really kind of get the most out of what I have, right? And in your Bead Llama box, you're going to have a selection of findings, right? And which I've already pulled out and showed you, because there are crimps. There's crimps in the silver color, crimps in the gold color. We're going to be using the gold color. There's head pins and eye pins. There's jump rings. There's ear wires. All of these things, including clasps, right? We didn't leave anything to chance here. We didn't want to put you in a position where you had to pick something out yourself. We wanted to be sure that where are mine? That we had all of our bases covered, right? So you have some clasps that are already included in your kit. You have some silver ones and you have some of the gold colored ones. Well, naturally for this bracelet, you would think that I would pick one of these, but because I don't want to use up all of my clasps just yet, I want to stretch all of my materials as far as I possibly can. I come up with ways to show you how to make a clasp or to use things that you have that aren't a clasp in a way that will work so that you can save a clasp for another day. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so we are going to start out with a piece of our bead stringing wire that is conveniently included in your llama kit for you. And I'm going to pull up my picture first because I want to be sure that I string this exactly the same way. I always have my phone handy because you never know when Eric or Michelle is going to send me a message that I need to pay attention to. So, got my picture here ready to go. All right, so we're going to take our wire here, our beading wire, and we're going to take one of our crimps, okay? And we're going to make a loop out of our seed beads. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we are. We're going to make a loop out of our seed bead. I can't decide which end of this bracelet I want to start with. Maybe we won't do the loop first. It's like I want to save this big reveal for the end, but we'll start with our loop. Can't decide. All right, I'm going to dump out some of my seed beads here. You can use any of the seed bead colors that you want to. You don't have to use these exact same beads. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my crimp. I'm going to thread it onto the end of my wire here, my beading wire, and then I'm going to pick up 22-ish of the seed beads, okay? Hold on to that crimp so it doesn't fall down. You don't want it to fall off of your beading wire. All right, so there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Now, it really doesn't matter how many, if it's 22, 24, you know. Oh, that other thing. You're right. I can't believe I missed that. Totally forgot. So there is the other thing that I mentioned at the top of the show, and then I got into, you know, waxing poetic over the Bead Llama kit because I get so excited about it that I forgot to mention that for those of you who would like to grab a Bead Llama kit, you guys, the coupon code, that $10 off TBL10 coupon code that we had when we very first debuted these kits, it just happens to be active currently. So if you would like to take an additional $10 off the price, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but We have yet to move the Bead LLama kit off of the debut price. It is still sitting at the debut price right now. And little tidbit of information for you there. That's actually Eric's fault. I love it when I can blame things on Eric. Eric has, oh, I just lost all my seed beads. See what I get for talking about the boss. Listen, he has yet to move that to its regular price yet. So it's still sitting at its debut price. But guys, right now, right this second, it happened just before the show. The coupon code TBL10 was reactivated just temporarily to get you an additional $10 off of that box. Now, you're not going to see that on the website. You're not going to see it advertised anywhere else. It's actually kind of just now kind of thing that we literally decided to do right before the show. You can maybe share that code with a friend if you want to, but like I said, you're not going to see that anywhere. And that code is only going to be working temporarily. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. Let's start over again, because I got my instant karma right there for blaming things on Eric. Okay, let's try again. While you're shopping, watch me make a mess. All right, picking up my beads again. Now, as I was saying before, I was reminded of that coupon code that you guys can use. It really doesn't matter if it's exactly 20 beads. It can be however many beads that you want it to be, but I'm going to give you a little secret here. So whatever bead you're going to be using as your clasp, which for me just so happens to be this big black bead right here, you're going to need to make sure that your loop is going to be big enough to accommodate that bead. So we're going to take all those beads, take the end of our beading wire, we're going to stick it back down through our crimp, right? And before we crimp, we want to make sure that when we pull that crimp up next to all those beads, right, and we have a loop, that the bead that we're going to be using is going to fit through that loop. Now, you don't want it to be too big because you don't want your bracelet to fall off. However, you want it to be just big enough that you can comfortably get that bead through there. You don't want it to be too tight. Okay. So for me and this bead right here, however many beads that was, it was like 20 is going to be enough. Now I'm going to take this crimp, right, where my bead stringing wires are both going through it, and I'm going to place this into the back notch of my crimper tool. My crimper tool is the blue handled tool that does not look like regular pliers, right? Because there are other tools in the box here. This is the one that looks the most out of the ordinary, I suppose. It's like one of these things does not belong. It actually does. But these are all of your pliers. This is your crimper tool. Okay. So your crimper tool looks a little bit different than your pliers. If you'll notice when you're looking at it and you have it closed, right, you're holding it closed, there are two notches. There is this back notch that looks like a little set of lips or like a little macaroni noodle. And then your front notch, which is oval shaped. You're going to place your crimp bead into that back notch right there. And you're going to squeeze. Now, what's really important here is you want to be sure that your bead stringing wire is not crisscrossing inside that crimp. You want to be sure that your two wires are running parallel inside there. Okay. And when you're making a loop like this with your seed beads, you're going to see a little bit of your beading wire. That's okay. Right? We don't care that we see just a tiny little bit of that bead stringing wire. No, we don't want to see a ton of it, but there's no way to make a loop like this and not see some of it just because of the space that it takes for these two beads to sit side by side right there next to that crimp. So take that, place that into the back notch of your crimper tool and give that a squeeze. And you can see when you squeeze, that little tooth part of that back notch comes and it further separates out those wires, right? So they are not touching each other inside that crimp. Then you're going to turn that sideways. You're going to place that into the front notch of your crimper tool. And you're going to give that a squeeze. That's just going to tidy everything up and make your crimp nice and small. Okay, so it's not going to detract from your design. It's nice and small. It's just going to kind of disappear. And since I'm using these really beautiful gold colored Toho beads, it really just looks like a bead. All right, then I'm going to come in with my cutter. That's the green handled tool in your or I'm sorry, the yellow handle tool in your kit, and you are going to trim that short piece of wire right off. You don't need it, okay? So this is what we've got so far. All right. Everybody's having tacos and talking about margaritas. I'm ready. I'm ready. Who's gonna deliver? Okay. Now we are going to string up a bracelet. And for me, I'm going to string my bracelet up with a mixture of these beads. Let's go ahead and lay these out, because part of the fun of creating your designs is kind of playing around and deciding what you want things to look like. I'm all about asymmetrical designs. It's one of my very favorite things to do. So for our bracelet, we are going to create an asymmetrical design. I'm going to use 4 of these big druck beads, right? And then I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these larger faceted check fire polish beads to give this a little bit of sparkle. Now, you don't have to do asymmetrical if you don't want to, right? You just don't. You can put this together however you want to, but I'm going to have more of the check fire polish than the druck beads. This is going to give this like a, it's kind of a color blocked look, right? So I've got these 4, and then I have these 6. If you wanted to put these 4 in the middle, or if you wanted to alternate, totally up to you. Again, that's the fun of the Bead LLama kits. You have so many beads to play with. You can really come up with your own design, okay? I am going to put some of these seed beads in between these beads so that each one of these beads has their own space. Plus, I don't have enough of these to string them straight on together to make a long enough bracelet. So in order to get a little space in between these, I'm going to put 2 seed beads in between each one. So I'm going to start with 2 seed beads, right? And then I'm going to pick up one of the drucks, and I'm going to thread that on. I'm going to pick up 2 more seed beads. And one of the drucks. And I'm going to repeat this pattern, picking up the drucks, and then I'm going to transition into the check fire polish. Now, while I'm doing that, though, I want to mention what one of the other items in today's show is. First, a gentle reminder about our deal of the day, or our deal of the day item, which is a beautiful 8x4mm black diamond AB check flower strand. That is the deal of the day. You need to be checking the website every single day, because those deal of the day deals are going to change daily now through the end of the year. You don't want to miss out, right? Because it might just be something that you have been waiting to get your hands on that happens to be the deal of the day. Or it might be something like today that maybe you didn't know you wanted or that you needed and you just go ahead and add it to your cart, right? That's part of the fun of the deal of the day. I love it. It's things you didn't know that you needed. But included in the show, other than that deal of the day and this Bead LLama Do-It-Yourself kit, is one of our companion kits. And when we launched these Bead LLama kits, we told you guys in the beginning that we were going to have some other resources, other materials, other kits, and other things, right, that are going to be coming your way to further your Bead LLama experience. And so we also have the stretch bracelet Bead LLama kit in the show today as well. Now, I'm not going to show it to you, but I want you to know that it is in the show. So if you want to grab one of those, maybe you've already got your Bead LLama kit and it's time to add to your Bead LLama kit, grab that stretch bracelet edition. It has, I think there's enough to make, I can't remember. I want to say it was like 60 bracelets. That might not be right. I better not say, but I know that you can make a ton of bracelets. Becky knows the exact number of how many bracelets you can make. But I know that there is enough materials in there to make a ton of gorgeous stretch bracelets. And what a great way to create gifts for the holidays, right? Stretch bracelets are easy. You don't have to know the size. You don't have to worry about measuring. You don't have to worry about any of that. You can put together gorgeous check glass jewelry, beautiful check stretch bracelets, and give those as gifts for the holidays, or add those to your website, or start building your craft booth. And you're going to be able to make a ton of things. So that stretch bracelet kit is the companion to our deluxe Bead LLama kit. So if you've not checked that out yet, you definitely want to take a look at that. All right, so I have made my way all the way around, okay, while we were chatting about all of that. Nancy said she bought 2 of the stretchy bracelet kits. That is awesome. That is awesome. Gina says, this is looking great. Gorgeous, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you. I love these colors. This color palette is one of my favorites. I'll give you a little reminder of the things that I've made previously, and that was in the same color palette here in just a little bit, but I love these beads. Absolutely love these. So we've made it to the end here. Now it's time to discuss the clasp situation, because if you'll remember, I didn't pull out one of those lobster clasps. I was opting to save that for another project, right? Because I want to get the absolute most that I can out of everything that I have in my box. Now, I'm here to tell you that there's a ton of findings. There's a ton of beads. Like, you're not going to be hurting for anything, but it's nice to have some alternatives to your findings, right? So I'm going to be using this guy right here. I'm going to use it like a button. I'm going to use it in combination with this little flower. And I'm also going to use a seed bead, and I'm going to use a crimp, and I'm going to show you how to make all of this work right now. So one of the things that I need to do is I need to create a little bit more space. I don't want to just go ahead and thread this bead on right here, even though 2 beads between our main beads, 2 of the seed beads between our main beads is a nice amount of space. When it comes to putting something through a loop, you need a little extra space. So I'm going to add a couple of extra seed beads to this right here on the end. So there's 4. Let's grab a couple more just to be safe. We want to be sure that we have plenty of wiggle room. I'll add maybe 2 more beads to this, or 1. It doesn't really matter. You just want to be sure you have plenty of room between this guy and this guy, right, to get through your loop. All right, now what we're going to do is we are going to take our large rondelle bead, and we're going to thread that on, okay? Then we're going to thread on our little flower, just like that. And then we're going to take a seed bead, and we're going to drop that down to sit right in the middle of that flower. All right, now I know you may be thinking, okay, now what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? You don't have a clasp. How are you going to make this work? I'm going to show you. So we're going to take our crimp. We're going to thread our crimp on, and then, actually, you know what? We're going to swap these, because you can do it. You can do this one of 2 ways. Let me show you this way before we move on. You can take your bead stringing wire to one side and crimp this, and then trim off if you want to. To me, that's not the safest way to do it, just because your beading wire is so thin if it's just one inside your crimp. So I'm going to swap these around. I'm going to thread my crimp bead on first, and then my seed bead, okay? Then I'm going to take my beading wire, and I'm going to, just like we did with our loop on the other end, I'm going to take the end of that and go through my crimp, and I'm going to pull this down. And as I pull this down, if I can get a hold of it, I'm going to turn my seed bead sideways. So let me show you. All right. just like that. See, I'm holding it sideways. See, these guys are on the wire up and down. This guy, I'm holding it so that it is sitting sideways. And I'm going to pull that bead stringing wire down. And I'm actually going to take it through a bead or two. So let me back this out just a little bit, backing my crimp. And I'm going to take this wire back down through my flower and my black bead, just to get it out of my way, right? So now I'm not pulling up here where everything is happening, because there's not a lot of room up here. Now I'm pulling out of the way. So let me wiggle this a little bit. It does take a little bit of a finesse here. I'm not going to pretend like this is like super smooth and easy to do. But you're going to take your seed bead. I'm going to hold mine with my pliers. See how I'm holding it sideways, and pull all that slack out. And if you can get it to turn, mine keeps wanting to turn the wrong direction, but if you can get it to sit sideways, it'll sit right on top of that crimp. And even if you can't get it to sit right on top of the crimp, sideways, up and down is fine. It just looks like a little bead in the center. Okay, I'm going to give up, but you can get it, I promise you. If you'll mess with it long enough, you can get it to sit sideways. Let's see if I can get it to, with my pliers here. I just don't want to accidentally break my bead, because if you've been with me for a while, you know that I can be a little heavy-handed with things, so I bring out the tools. There's no guarantee that I'm not going to cause a problem. There we go. Well, all right. I give up. I'm going to leave it just like it is, because it's fine, right? And now I'm going to crimp. Make sure that you've pulled all your slack out, okay? And then you very carefully want to put your crimp into the back notch of your crimper tool. But here's the thing. You want to be careful that you don't accidentally catch your seed bead, right? You're going to give it a squeeze. Well, I got a really bad crimp on that. Y'all, I promise this project looks a lot better when I can actually see what I'm doing. Because I did not do a good crimp on that. Let's see if we can get that out of there. I bet I can get it free. I probably should have done this side first, but it really doesn't matter, you guys. It just goes to show, being up close with your jewelry is a big deal. I'm doing this through the actual camera lens. Okay, that's why that crimp did not turn out very well. So let's do it again. Crimp bead on. Seed bead on. And this time we're going to get a good crimp. Take that back through. I may have to move this out of the camera and up to my actual face this time. Oh, is it the weekend yet, you guys? It's a good thing nobody had a question yet, right? Did I miss any questions, you guys? Did I miss any questions? I usually do. Okay, I cannot see this. So I'm taking this out from underneath the camera. I apologize. This bead is clear. I cannot see. Okay, there. I got it. Sorry. I refuse to admit that I'm getting older, okay? It's not going to happen. I refuse. I refuse. I see just fine. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, pulling all this down. No missed questions, just a party going on. That's what I like to hear. Though I do love your questions, guys. but I do like that there's a party going on. I don't like that I'm really struggling with this though, because I shouldn't be, and I should be showing you something fantastic today. Wow, this is so cool, Sarah. And clearly I'm not. I'm struggling because now I have made a mess that I cannot seem to correct. And I just keep pulling everything out. All right. It's going to be that kind of party. My goodness. There. Forget going through a couple beads. Clearly, it's just not meant to be. Which is fine. We're going to crimp as usual. Okay? If you can get your seed bead to sit sideways, that's fantastic. Just like that. If you can't, that's okay. Don't stress about it. Put your crimp into the back notch of the crimper tool. Give it a squeeze. That time I did a good job on my crimp. Turn it sideways, put it into the front notch of the crimper tool, and give that a squeeze. And ta-da! I did it. See, I do know what I'm doing, I promise. May not always show it. And then you're just going to come in with your cutter and you're going to trim off. Okay. Wow. I made that look a whole lot harder than it was. I promise it was not. Right? But we didn't use any kind of extra hardware. We literally used 2 of the crimps. We've saved our clasp for another project. And now I have this cute little, it's almost like a button, but not, right? And we're going to send that through our little beady loop. I think my little beady loop could have stood to have been bigger by about a bead. Whew, it's getting hot in here. It fit before. You saw it. There we go. I give up, y'all. I give up. My brain's gone on to the weekend without me. I don't know. There you go. It does fit. It just took a little more work than what I needed it to. It's just not my day. It's all right. All right. Now I'm extra. Okay. I am extra. So I'm going to add a charm to this, and we have a ton of them. So why not? So I'm going to take one of the little kitty cats. And look, there's a ton of charms to choose from. I could have used some of the stars. There are some in silver color as well. There are some of these little, I actually love these. These are some of my little favorites. These little teardrop shaped guys. But look at the cats, these little enamel cats. So I'm going to use an enamel cat. I've used one of the jump rings from the kit. And I'm going to attach this to my bracelet. Now you literally can put this anywhere you want to, okay? And you don't have to add it at all if you don't want to add it. But I do love a good dangle or charm. So I'm gonna slide that over some of the seed beads in one of these little sections between my beads. I'm so done today. I'm so done. Oh my goodness. Y'all don't need me today. My little cat to my bracelet. Look how cute. Ah. Well, I need to turn the fan back on. This has been an interesting one for sure, you guys. But I gotta tell you, there were no injuries, so at least that's a win, right? That's a win. Wanda does not have to reset our our sign for that. Workplace injuries. None today. None today. And we put together a cute little bracelet. So even though I struggled a little bit here at the end, you can see it's still fairly easy to put this together. It most definitely is beginner friendly. It can be a little frustrating here at the end to get that seed bead situated exactly where you want it to. There's not a lot of space here when you come into crimp, but that's part of the jewelry making process, right? Not everything that you're going to face as a jewelry maker is going to be easy. You're going to find that some of the most mundane everyday tasks that you do in jewelry making can sometimes be a little tricky because of the surrounding situation, right? The surrounding circumstances. And for here, we were trying to go through a couple of beads. We were trying to corral this one little seed bead on the end just so that we had this extra security here. So I think it was worth it though, because we have a really unique looking design, right? We used a bead in place of a button. We saved a clasp. We have a really beautiful bracelet that you could use in any of the bead combinations that you have in your kit. You could have done this in the blues. You could have done this with the purples, the pinks, or the greens. Added any charm that you wanted to, and you have a unique one-of-a-kind piece, right? And you don't have to have years and years and years worth of jewelry making skills under your belt just yet, right? These are the beginnings. These are the little frustrations that you're going to face. And you're going to find yourself using your sentence enhancers and getting frustrated with things. Take a break, walk away. I don't have the option of doing that when we're live, but I don't want my struggles to discourage you, right? We're all in this together. That's what's wonderful about the Bead LLama Do-It-Yourself Jewelry Making Kit is you have support. You have written content, you have video content, and you have an amazing community that is going to stand behind you and walk you through it. If you need help, all you have to do is reach out to another beader in this community, and they're going to help you through all of these little problems that you're going to face. So, all right, guys. I feel like I missed so much that's going on in the comment section by dealing with my own frustrations up here. I need to go back and read the chat. I'm missing out on the party for sure. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, I'm going to turn you around. I just want to remind you again before you head out. First and foremost, let's take a look at this guy from another point of view because it's just really, really beautiful. And if you want to see some more examples of what you can create, I have a couple of other things. The last time we got together, we put together a beautiful necklace using some of those same beads. So actually, I'm kind of working, I didn't even realize it, I'm working on my own little set here. Right? If you made the necklace that I made before and then you added this bracelet to it, I think we also made some earrings to go with this. So we've got a nice little set we're working on. There's also a bracelet that I put together that is a stretch bracelet. That's a double strand stretch bracelet, which is really, really cool. And all you got to do is tie some knots and do some simple loops. So there's tons of inspiration. Oh, an amazing community. If you're thinking about it, it is still at its debut price. There is a 10%, I'm sorry, not 10% off, a $10 coupon code TBL10 that you can use for the time being. That just got activated again before the show today. So you definitely want to take advantage of that, guys. Don't forget that there is 40% off up to 40% off all the check glass that is on the website. That sale is going on right now. It's going to be ending pretty quickly. You definitely want to take advantage of that because if you spend $24 worth of check glass sale items, your order is going to ship for free. And don't forget about that item of the day. That deal of the day was that 8x4mm check glass strand. It was 25 pieces of black diamond AB little flowers. They're absolutely beautiful in person. If you are even just thinking about it, I'm sorry. It's been one of those days. If you're even thinking about it, add it to your cart because that is a wonderful little addition. You're gonna get a lot of usage out of that. 25 pieces. Imagine how many earrings. You can make 12 pairs of earrings and have one left over to make a pendant. Look at me mathing. What? I can't put together a bracelet today, but I can math for you. I'm so done. Stick a fork in me. It's over with. All right. Patrick Mahomes is in the comment section, which means that there is a question. There are questions. Put Wanda in charge. Let's not. I made that mistake in another place. Wanda's in charge. Wanda makes decisions for me in some other areas. Okay, what did I miss? Because I am looking here. There are questions. Which ones did I miss? Somebody want to repost those? I don't think I've scrolled back far enough. Question from Debbie J. Let's see. What do you use the teardrop charms for, or how to use them? That's a really good question. So the teardrop charms are really nice. So for me, I like to add those to a jump ring. In your Bead LLama kit, you're going to see that there are two different sizes of jump rings. There's a smaller jump ring and there's a larger jump ring. I like to use the smaller one just because those charms are kind of small. They make great little dangles for earrings. They make nice little dangles for necklaces, like anywhere you want to put a charm, right? Anywhere you want to put a charm. Maybe the cat charm was too big for this bracelet for your liking and you just wanted to hang a little something extra. One of the reasons that we add charms, other than the fact that they are just fun and whimsical and they make us smile, but one of the reasons why charms get added and dangles get added to jewelry is to draw attention, right? It is movement that happens. It catches the light, and that in turn is going to catch somebody's attention, and that attention is actually a really good thing, particularly if you are selling your jewelry, or, you know, if you want people to know that you're a jewelry maker. Adding a little dangle to your design is a great way to catch the light, catch somebody's attention, and then they go, hey, I love that. I love that. Where did you get that? And you can tell them, I made it. I made it with my Bead LLama kit. Are you a maker? And either you're gonna bring them into our community, or you just earned yourself a brand new customer. So that's why I like dangles, you know. But honestly, those little guys, you can use those literally anywhere that you want to use a charm, where you just want a subtle amount of flash, just a subtle amount of movement without it being over the top. They're really, really cute. I love them. Let's see. Was there anything else that I missed? Eric. I'm calling you as soon as this is over. Oh my goodness. Did he just ask? You guys, did he really just ask who Patrick Mahomes was? OMG. Did I miss any more questions, you guys? If I did, I'm so sorry. That's it? All right. Eric. I can't believe you don't know. He doesn't, I guess Eric doesn't do sports ball. He's the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, which is my team. That's my team. So I'm so sad that you don't know that. All right, everybody. I'm out of here. Thank you so much for putting up with my shenanigans today. I appreciate you so much. Listen, if you are just now coming into this community, you can learn hopefully how to make a bracelet today, but you can also learn that 100% everybody here is exactly who you see. Like, what you see is what you get. I am a regular human being. I make mistakes with my jewelry making. This community is loving and encouraging, and they do not turn and run the other direction, and they're going to lift you up and encourage you the exact same way. So you're in the right place. I'm glad to have you guys. If you grab your kits, please be sure that you're posting pictures of what you're making with your Bead LLama kits so that we can see all of the beady goodness and all of the beady inspiration. All right, I'm going to stop talking now because it's probably about that time for me to shut my mouth and move on for the day. I love you so much. Guys, don't forget to check out the deal of the day every day next week through the end of the year. So not just next week, but yeah, be sure to set your reminder. Same time, same place next week. I'll be here with another fun show for you guys. It's going to be Black Friday. You don't want to miss it. Have a good one. Bye, guys.